I don't know if that's the best segue, but what the hell? What the diaper? I won't say. I started things up a little bit yesterday, and I wasn't trying to. Somebody I know, somebody I trust, somebody who's in the broader NFL machinery planted the idea in my head of Texas A&M making a run at Dan Campbell. And people lost their shit. Lions fans don't want to hear that. And anybody who dismisses that out of hand just doesn't get it. Look at the money in college football. Look at what they're paying Jimbo Fisher to go away. Dan Campbell is from Texas. Dan Campbell went to Texas A&M. Dan Campbell loves Texas A&M. If there's any program that he's going to think twice about, that's the one.
Yeah.
And if there's any program that can dump a massive bag of money, more than what he's getting paid, double or triple of what he's currently getting paid by the Lions, if they can dump that on his desk, that is at least something for him to think about. And at a minimum, maybe it gets the Fords to sell a few more Edsels so they can pay him what he deserves. But this is a great moment for him. This is his ship is coming in, and either he jumps onto a much bigger one or the one he's on recognizes what he's doing and scratches off a few more bucks to make him happy and keep him there long term. So if I'm Texas A&M, I'm calling the guy. He checks every box. We check the box as Texas A&M of having a shitload of money to offer to him.
Yeah.
Just because they're paying Jim. Oh, well, they don't have the money to pay him. They're paying Jim. But you think there isn't? You think that's a sign the budget is depleted? That's a sign that they don't give a crap. That's a sign that they got money to burn, folks. If they can pay one guy $76 million to walk out the door, they can pay another guy $176 million to walk in the door.
Yeah, listen, it's the thought makes sense. I'm with you. I mean, from every facet, I get it totally. They do have a ton of money. You're right. It is still alumni, and people like that are ponying up that money, so it's not always easy just to keep asking for huge contract after huge contract. We know that too. And, to the point you made, he's on the doorstep of getting a big-time extension here with the Detroit Lions, not having to recruit and babysit and deal with all that type of stuff, let alone, you get up towards the upper echelons of coaches, top 8, top 10 coaches. It's significantly bigger money than college coaches. That's the other thing, too. I know.
Well, Chris.
Yes, right. What?
The Lions have never had that. Who knows if the Lions are going to be willing to play that game? They've never been in this neighborhood before.
The NFL is printing money right now. That doesn't mean anything.
I know.
They should be able to just and if they're that stupid, then I don't know what to say. But they got their guy finally. The organization has turned. I would expect the next contract to be very market friendly as far as the top coaches are concerned if the things continue to go in the trajectory they are there in Detroit.
What should happen, what does happen with some of these teams, sometimes two different things. This is a test. This is an opportunity for the Lions to prove that they have shed 60 years of dysfunction if they recognize this guy is going to be attractive. He's extremely attractive right now, or at least should be, to his alma mater. Let's get him taken care of, and let's get him in the upper echelon of coaches. He's proven himself. We're only a year removed from them being 1-6 and him getting a dreaded vote of confidence from Sheila Ford Hamp.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Because it's like somebody who has lived in a tiny little shack, scratching off a lottery ticket and winning enough to buy a big house. When you buy a big house, you can't just bring the lawn chair that you used to sit and watch TV into the big house. You got to furnish it accordingly. There's a lot of expenses that go with having a big house. The utility bills are higher. Everything's more expensive. When you need something to be replaced, the invoice you get for a new dishwasher is a lot more than it would be if I can't relate to that. Maybe I can. And you just have to accept it. It goes with living in that neighborhood. It goes with having that house. So if the Lions are going to have nice things, there's a price to be paid for having those nice things. And usually we see it with players, but it also applies to coaches. And it doesn't apply as strongly to coaches, Chris. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of like this story. It's a broader message to the NFL, which I believe, it's my opinion, don't sue me, Big Shield, I believe it's my opinion that they collude when it comes to what they pay coaches. And if we had the full data of player pay and coach pay for the last 50 years, if we had access to every penny that everyone made and we charted the growth for coach pay would be minuscule in comparison to the growth for player pay, because they've managed to hold them down.
Yeah, would agree with that.
And again, the Lions have never stepped into the spotlight before. Here we are. We've arrived. Holy shit, we got to pay the coach $10 million, $15 million a year. We've never had to do that before. Yeah, you've never had a coach that was leading the team to 7-2 and possible number 1 seed and possible Super Bowl. It's incomprehensible for the Lions to be in the Super Bowl conversation, but they are. And Dan Campbell's a big reason for it. So, look, I should be getting a cut of his next contract, for crying out loud. I'm more interested in the broader picture of the guys who put in all those hours away from their families, give up their lives, and are more important. I've made this point before. Well, this was before Bill Belichick kind of, went downhill a little bit. But Jared Goff, $33 million. Bill Belichick, $33 million. What's more valuable to your team?
Yeah. Right.
Now, since then, Goff is man, well, that's kind of backfired on me. Goff has kind of gone up, and Belichick's kind of gone down. But the point is, a great coach is worth as much as a damn good quarterback.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's not. We know that.
Campbell's
let's go to the 49ers.
Campbell's worth
go with
20, 25,
Jimmy
30
Garoppolo
million
was making $27 million. Shanahan wasn't. I mean, we see what Jimmy Garoppolo was, right? I mean, so you're exactly right. The great coach, the value to the organization is by far the greatest asset when it's a great coach to that football team. And you're right. It was squashed. I'm with you and your belief, your opinion, my opinion, that it was colluding with the coaches and their contracts there forever. But I feel like that's done. The market's exploded. One, I think just because there's.
We'll see.
Well, I'd be shocked. I mean, the Lions would be really stupid not to offer him top tier money. We'll see where that goes. I know, but the way the NFL is
top
headed,
tier? How much should they offer him?
Well,
how much should they offer him?
Well, I mean, again, it's hard to know exactly what everybody's making here, right? But I mean, somewhere north of $12 million, I would think, is going to be pretty standard. Easily. So I want to say
Alan
15.
Lazard money?
I want to say 15.
You mean a great head coach is worth Alan Lazard money? That's what's so ridiculous about this. Your guy Kyle should be making $40 million a year from Jed York. He should be making $40 million a year or more. Think about how valuable it is to have a great team that is in contention every single year. Every single year. They've been in contention every year since 2019 because of Kyle Shanahan. And because of the collusion that's baked into this cake for 50 years, he's not even close. I guarantee you he's not close to what he should be getting. When you consider the billions that are fueling this machine,
sure,
the billions that are flowing into the pockets of ownership, and the money there by CBA, they have to give to the players. See, that's a problem. The coaches don't have a union. The coaches just have to negotiate their best deal. And there's only 32 of those jobs. The owners hold all the money. The owners hold all the power. And I'm making this Dan Campbell argument not because I'm convinced he's the next Vince Lombardi, Don Shula, and Bill Belichick wrapped into one. This is just an opportunity to make the broader point that the coaches have far more value to the National Football League than they get in return. And they give their lives to this. They sacrifice their lives for this. They want to. And maybe they would do it if they were only getting paid minimum wage, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They do. And they bring value, and they're not getting fair value. That's why I went this way, Lions fans. Don't get too pissed off about it. And if your team's smart, he's not getting out the door. But Texas A&M would be wise to call him. And they didn't give Jimbo Fisher $76 million to walk away to make some check-the-box standard basic hire. They're swinging for the fences, and they got the cash to buy a big-ass bat to do it.
Yeah, they do. You're right. I mean, they are Aggies, so they're flawed at birth. That's what I would say as a Longhorn. There's issues there. I don't know, but no, you're right. It's a great school. They got big time money, big time oil money. I would think they make the type of that call to Dan Campbell. To your point, I think Dan Campbell is perfect for the NFL. And, what you've said, what I've said, what he's built here, he's on the precipice of building something sustainable here with Detroit that none of us thought was fathomable. And, and he is the huge reason, and all the value of what they are and everything there is encompassed by what Dan Campbell's brought to that organization right now. So I'm with you, and I would think they're going to pony up and see his value when it comes time.
I think you short-circuited my brain with precipice and fathom.
I know, right? As I was saying it, I was like, damn, I got big words flowing out of my brain today. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I guess when I heard, I'm a Longhorn, I got to show the Aggies about brains, right? So I went on a kick there. Oh, man, I'm killing the Aggies right now.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.